Hello, welcome back everyone. South America is a place we've not really explored in this series, and I thought that was a shame, so I'm going to change that today. My name is Danny Burke, and this is the top 10 scary Argentine urban legends. These stories are of course going to be creepy, they're going to be scary, and you're going to want more. Just remember to leave your suggestions for the next country in the comments section below. Alright then, starting off at number 10 now, we have El Familiar. We're starting this video off with a big one here, because this creature is said to be the devil. As in, the actual devil. The legend began in the 19th century when people believed that the sugarcane industry had made a deal with the devil. They said the industry was protected from an economic downturn because they were making a yearly human sacrifice to the devil. Because of this, the devil could always be seen emerging from their sugar refineries and plantations. Sometimes he would take the form of a giant snake called Viboron, who would eat one worker every year as part of the whole sacrifice deal. Other times, the devil was said to take the form of an enormous, headless black dog. Perhaps this form is the most terrifying to the unfortunate people who have seen this creature. It darts through trees, its chain clanking around its neck. Of course, it gets one human sacrifice a year, but if it sees you, it might want a quick snack anyway. Next up at number 9 now, we have the Recoleta Cemetery. The story goes a little bit like this. One day in Buenos Aires, a young man met a beautiful girl near a cemetery and took her out on a date. During the night, the girl felt cold. The guy gave her his jacket, but she ended up spilling some drink on it. She apologized and said she would have it cleaned by the next day. In the morning, the man went over and knocked on her door. A woman came to the door, but it was not the girl, it was actually her mother. She told him the girl he was looking for had actually passed away a long time ago, and she was buried in the cemetery nearby. Naturally, he didn't believe her. He remembered the whole night they had together, especially her taking his jacket. So he went to the cemetery, and there he found his drink-stained jacket draped over the crypt with the girl's name on it. The crypt is actually still there today. You can visit it. They call her the Lady in White, real name Luz Maria Garcia Veloso. She was 15 when she died from leukemia in 1925. Ever since then, a number of men have come forward and sworn that they too have met the White Lady, even taken her on dates, and she always slips away into the gravestones before they know what's going on. Next up at number 8 now, we have the Pombero. This is a legendary creature that comes from the Guarani mythology. Its original name translates to the man of the night. He is said to be a nocturnal creature, and physical descriptions of him do vary. He's often described as being short and ugly with hairy hands and feet. He generally lives in rural areas or the forest, too scared to come into direct contact with humans, although they are said to sometimes inhabit an abandoned house. Due to its familiarity with the forest, the Pombero is said to be able to imitate the sounds of various forest creatures. Specifically, the Pombero can imitate birdsong, especially nocturnal ones. As such, they are often seen as protectors of the birds. Those who have seen the Pombero say that before he appears, you can hear his whistle. Many become so scared of the Pomberos that they fear whistling ever again for fear of invoking his anger. Mostly though, he saves his powers and mischief for farmers. The Pombero has been known to steal cattle, steal eggs, chicken and honey, frighten horses, and scatter rice or corn. Perhaps the strangest aspect I found was that the Pombero is said to be able to impregnate a woman with a single touch. Some say if a baby is born hairy and ugly, the Pombero came for a visit in the night. I think that's straight up creepy, but perhaps in a different kind of way. Moving on to number 7 now, we have La Luz Mala. This name translates to the bad light, and I think that's a pretty good description. In Argentina and Uruguay, people have reported seeing a wisp of light in the countryside. It's not human made, and it seems more supernatural than anything. It appears to float over a given area. You may approach the light, but beware, it's said to be made from toxic gases that come from decaying human bones. You see, the light usually appears over areas where people are buried. Because of the gases and its association with death, many people choose to never approach the light. Some do though, and they often report finding Native American pottery and human remains. They say the light makes a screeching noise that sounds as if it's in pain or perhaps fearful. Is that the light, or the sound of the spirit the body belonged to, unable to find its way through the dark and into the afterlife? It's been said that if the light falls at the foot of a hill, then treasure can be found there. However, by this point, most people are already running in the other direction. Some have referred to the wisp as the lantern of the devil, and I'm sure now you can see why. Next up at number 6 now, we have the Wekufe. This legend comes from the Mapuche people of Argentina and Chile. According to them, the Wekufe is a harmful spirit or demon. When the Mapuche were introduced to Christianity, the Wekufe was said to inhabit people as well as being free-form spirits. They can alternate between both forms and often an animal form too. Their aim is to enslave the souls of the dead, and they take great pleasure in spreading diseases and killing people. They were said to come from the west and had no soul. They were said to enter our world as a consequence of battles with the Filan spirits, which resulted in the destruction of the perfect harmony of the world. They have the power to capture and enslave the spirits of the recently dead if it's reluctant to leave the body and transform into a greater spirit. If they do manage to trap a spirit in this way, they can use them to hurt other people. In this way, the Wekufe are very feared entities. Not only can they enslave your soul and rob you of an afterlife, they can also use you to hurt others, perhaps even your own family and friends. Many people feel this truly is a fate worse than death. Next up at number 5 now we have La Viudita. This is a common tale across Latin America, including Argentina. La Viudita is known as the Black Widow. She is said to be a beautiful woman, veiled and dressed in black from head to toe, who walks in the streets after midnight. She tries to get drunk men to her house. If she succeeds, it's then and only then that she will take off her veil to reveal that her face is nothing more than a grotesque skull. The sight is said to be so horrific that the men are quite literally scared to death as a woman lets out a shriek of hair-raising laughter. For those men that do survive, they awaken at dawn, usually lying in a puddle or covered in thistles and swearing to never party until late again. Moving on to number 4 now, we have San La Muerte. This is a well-known skeletal creature in the northeast of Argentina. His name translates to, quite simply, Saint Death. He carries a scythe and wears a hooded robe. As you might expect from his name, he has the ability to bring death to anyone and to also protect people from harm if they worship him. Naturally, many people want him on their side, so they offer prayers and rituals to Saint Death in the hope that he fulfills their requests. Offerings can include drinks, candles, or in some cases, even human blood. He is said to protect worshippers from witchcraft and has the ability to remove the evil eye from someone. Some say he can shorten prison terms of inmates or even keep them from being sent there at all. Belief in this being has its roots in both Native American and Catholic tradition. However, the Catholic Church has refused to endorse it as they say it's contrary to the belief of Jesus defeating death. Many people though, that doesn't really matter. Saint Death is a mysterious and powerful being and they'd rather be with him than against him. Next up at number 3 now we have El Chupacabra. This is said to be a hideous creature that attacks animals, especially farmers' livestock. It doesn't eat them though, it sucks them dry of their blood. Its name literally translates to goat sucker because of this. As with many legendary creatures we've talked about in this series, physical descriptions do vary. It's most commonly described though as a heavy creature, reptilian in appearance, and about the size of a small bear. Its scaly skin is greenish grey and has a row of sharp spines reaching from its neck to the base of its tail. It's not just isolated to Argentina though, it's a common sighting in many places. Eyewitness sightings have been reported as far south as Chile and as far north as Maine in the USA. They've even been spotted in Russia and the Philippines. The first reported attack came in Puerto Rico in 1995 when 8 sheep were discovered dead. Each one had 3 puncture wounds in the chest area and neck and were completely drained of blood. A few months later, in August, an eyewitness reported seeing the creature in the Puerto Rican town of Canovanas, where roughly 150 farm animals and pets have been killed. Many people say that only the Chupacabra is capable of such an attack. Moving on to number 2 now, we have the Lost Station. Line A is the oldest subway line in Argentina's capital of Buenos Aires. It's no surprise then that there are thousands of creepy stories surrounding it. For example, it's been said that officials had to change the route of the line due to an encounter with a mysterious graveyard. People also say it's possible to see the ghost of a bride at a certain time between certain stations. Then there is the Lost Station. This train line passes between the stations of Pasco Sur and Alberti Norte. These were closed decades ago as it was deemed not efficient to have so many different subway stops within walking distance. Nowadays these stations can still be seen along the line and there are many witnesses who claim with absolute certainty that they have seen one of the stations fully lit with people dressed in period clothing standing there waiting for a train that will never arrive. This is the Lost Station. It terrifies some and attracts others to it. If the latter sounds like you, just remember to not get lost down there. And finally, number 1 now, we have Rufina Cambaceres. There are a few different versions of this legend, but this is perhaps the most famous one. She was a girl whose father died. Her widowed mother then had a secret romance with the ex-president of Argentina. He used to visit the mother quite regularly. Rufina was unaware of their relationship and ended up falling in love with the man. In May 1902, during Rufina's birthday celebrations at the Collens Theatre, a friend told her the truth about what had been going on. She was so shocked, hurt, and confused by the news that Rufina's heart became paralyzed. She was buried in the same grave plot as her father. On the night of her funeral, the cemetery caretakers heard some noises in Rufina's grave. When they went to look at it, they noticed the coffin had been moved from its original place. They told Rufina's family, and when they arrived, they were shocked to their core by what they saw. They found Rufina's body had been turned the other way round, and her body and face were covered with marks, as was the coffin's cover. While in the coffin, she had revived with an epileptic attack and woke up before dying again from the shock of it all. Because of her traumatic death, many say her spirit became restless. She is said to wander around that cemetery at night, crying out for her love that never was, still dressed in the clothes she wore for her birthday. Well guys, I said we try and do some more South American ones, and I'm quite glad we did. Some of the stories are quite similar across different South American countries though, so let me know if you want to shake it up with somewhere else in the world next. I have heard people suggest Jamaica, and I think that's amazing. I would love to do that one. Let me know your thoughts though. Thanks for watching. As always guys, my name is Danny Burke, and I'll see you all in the next one.